Now, every single actor has this problem. We're all asked as actors to be able to act on cue. Look, this is a difficult thing, but there's a trick. I know a big trick to be able to achieve this in a way that's going to be able to help you work with every single emotion, every single object that you want to personalize is basically the trick. Look, I'm Simon Blake. You're, I've studied over 8,000 acting classes. Yes, classes. I've over 8 feet of acting notes. I've got over 6 acting books. I think it's 8 acting books now. Look, every actor is set with this problem. We have the problem because we're working with directors, and often the directors will say that they want us to do something on cue. Now, we love directors. This is great. We're wonderful. We're open with these. Every single person that we work with, we're able to understand this. But when we're being asked to be able to do something on cue, there's a process that we have to be able to use ourselves to be able to activate the emotion that we've been able to priorly put in ourselves. We self-activated emotion to be able to work so it looks as if we're actually working on cue. But actually, we're going to do a little trick here to be able to achieve what the others want, but yet we still keep within a process of our own reality. We keep in a process of staying within our own emotion. We're sparking our own emotion. We spark our own emotion. I got an old video I made called what is it called? Personalizing. I take my props seriously. Now, the truth about this is you get to a certain point. You look down at a desk. The script says that there's this thing on the desk, and this is really personal object for you, and then you're expected to have a reaction, or you're expected to have a big a moment of something with that object. It could be I don't know, some case or something that you have on the desk that's part of film prop, right? Now, you have a choice to make here. You have a choice to make with your authenticity, with your integrity as an actor and artist. Are you, and by the way, this will be a technique that you can use to be able to make this choice of whether or not you want to be authentic. So you have a choice to be able to look at this and just give out an expression, which again, this is part of acting. Expressions are, of course, part of acting. Or you can do some emotional work. And if you start working with acting in terms of emotions, you're going to be able to have surprisingly rich experiences, which are going to expand your experience. Your experiences are going to be this whole thing that will, when you're doing and working correctly in with authenticity, you're going to be surprised even by your own involvement in the doing, in the reality of the scene, in your being. You know, acting's not just doing, acting's being. Most actors would go ahead and pick up that case off of a desk, and they would provide the cue, and it would look very similar to every single other actor. And of course, that's part of acting. We accept that, right? But you have a choice to be able to look at everything in terms of painting it all with emotion. Now, this is such a significant moment to the director. So just tell the director, yes, okay, I understand. I tell the director, yes, that you understand what they're asking, and you work with it. And then you've got this choice to make. You work with this ability to be able to do something, to be able to spark the emotion over that case on that desk. This changes your acting. You want to go from one active emotional life to another activated emotion. You want to go from one activated emotion to another activated emotion. And you keep going down this pathway for yourself where the scene's expansive. You're expanding the abilities that you have as an actor over and over and over again. And the audience becomes more and more intrigued. In fact, when we're acting, everything that we listen to, everything that we hear, everything that we receive is going to be a part of stimulus. So the approach that I would take to having someone tell me that I need to do something on cue, I would give myself some emotional stimulus that's something that's outside of myself to be able to spark that emotion. Now, in the case of picking up something off of a desk that's very personal, You've got to personalize that object. You personalize that object by being able to really dive in so that literally when you get to that part in the scene, you literally are activated by something that you see on the desk. Now, it could be that you've written, you could do all kinds of things, guys. This is where creativity has no limits, because you could have a special note written from you from, I don't know, maybe you have some incredible love affair and a real relationship with somebody, and it's all wonderful. And you ask them to write you a note and put it in the bottom of the box, and you're the only person that knows that the note's in the box. Now, that's an incredible option for you to be able to use as an actor. So when you've got that ability and then you get to the box, you're reactivating yourself by something that sparks your emotion. Now, you can also do this with the daydreaming. You've got an ability to daydream. You could do this with a prior memory, or you could do this with a prior element. Anything that's going to be able to get you emotions, or none of this is off guards. It's all open for you to be able to do. But if you look at this and say, well, the only thing you've got to be able to work off of is the other actor, which you do. You work off the other actor, you receive the other actor. But at that transition, they're asking you specifically to work on cue. They're asking you to work, and they would like to be able to, if you're able to, is be able to get that emotion done correctly just for that scene. You want that scene to be able to be there. Now, if you're working with a film, you have time to do the emotional preparation and the emotional activation before that scene starts. So they're going to go the right camera angle. They're going to see you picking up this box. You're going to have this moment with this box, and you've got the ability to be able to self-activate that emotion. Now, if you're working in theater, you're going to have to be able to do the personalization of your prompts that are going to be able to achieve this. Now, this is incredibly, incredibly different than just simply stepping in with an expression. Now, if you are able to work with the expressions and you've worked that out as an actor for theater, great. That's another approach to acting in certain ways. So you want to be able to add emotion beneath it. And a way to be able to add emotion beneath it is to be able to then go back and do that work. So there's some directors that have also acted in their own films. And they'll often, there's a couple times where they've had to remind themselves that they had to go back and actually do the directing work in order for them to be able to actually get the film done. They did everything with the acting side. They did everything to work side. You want to treat this the same way. Look, you go through your scenes. You're working through your acting scenes. You've got your acting scenes completely, absolutely working. You've got you've worked out your dialogues. You've worked out your interactions. There's sections. You want to go from one emotional section to another emotional section, and then you've got that developed. And then you go back into it and you say, well, what can you personalize? Can you personalize this prop over here? Can you personalize that prop over there? Is there something that you can do to be able to make this richer? These things are going to make a difference. And then when you're asked, well, what will happen when you work with this stuff to be able to add this type of spark of emotion? The emotion is going to happen to you with the spontaneous quality. You're going to be able to have this surprise even yourself, because you're working with the acting interaction of the scene, and then all of a sudden you look down at the box on the desk, and all of a sudden there's a meaning to it, and all of a sudden the meaning hits you, and then the director is going to go, oh wow, they did exactly what I asked because they did everything on cue. But they didn't have any idea, maybe they didn't know that you had to figure out a process to be able to put emotion into that element. Now, putting the emotion is what made that actually work. Look, check out my books, Reasons to Knock on the Door. It is over about 1,300 reasons to knock on the door. Plus, there's like 2 or 3 different reasons for every single reason. So it's like really like 2,600 reasons to knock. And you want to add emotions to your abilities to knock. You want to work on that, hopefully, maybe even once a week, 1 hour a week, 1 hour every 2 weeks. And you're practicing your ability to be able to get your emotion activated and then be able to put that into a knock. And you want to work really hard. And also the emotional preparations book. These are 3 books that have over 700 emotions that are fantastic for actors to be able to know, to study, to be able to recognize those emotions within yourself, and to be able to recognize those emotions within others. Thanks very much.